Hi, my beautiful friends. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions. You guys are amazing. So, I just wanted to give you a quick update as we enter Leo season. You will definitely be getting both general, right, career spiritual readings as well as love readings this month, I promise. Okay. Last month was the only month I was going to take off from that. Also, Soul Medicine, which I introduced last month, is now live on my site, and you can book it right through there, so you don't even have to email me. That service includes the soul spread, as well as 5 channeled custom affirmations, as well as a candle designed to send all energy that is not yours back to its original place. I believe I also added to my site that you can just purchase 5 channeled affirmations like a la carte, like if you just wanted affirmations. I'm pretty sure I put that in there. If I didn't, email me. That's on my list of things to add to the site. Also, as a sidebar, so as you probably noticed, all my comments are approval only. That's so that I can read them all and screen people that are like, not being kind. With that being said, you guys are free people and obviously you're allowed to cross-watch all you want. However, do you really think it's kind for you to be leaving slanderous comments on someone that you're cross-watching? So when people of that actual sign go to watch the video for themselves, have to look at your comments, honestly, it's been Capricorn, calling Capricorn this kind of bitches and hoes and whatever. Don't do that because I'm never going to approve your comment. So you're just wasting your time, okay? And it's not because there aren't people that are, irritating or whatever. It's just that the video that is for the people of their sign, that's their safe space. That's their space to go and look at things. So please save your slanderous comments. Share the link to your homegirl or your dude that knows the drama and drop the comment there. I just don't need the shade. Also, some people have been asking why I don't show my face, or they want to see my face, or my nails are too focused in the videos, and I have news for you. I'm always going to paint my nails. I've always gotten my nails done for years and years, and it's something I love to do. So if you really find it that distracting, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do anything to appease you. Also, I do not show my face because the readings are about the cards. Even my private clients know I do not show my face in their readings. My face is for these kind of discussions. And as the year goes on, probably closer to January, I will be doing more videos where I show my face, but I will not be using cards in those videos. When I channel information through cards, I don't like to have my eyes on camera. That's just my preference, and that's how it's going to be. Let's see. Anything else? I love you guys. Oh, anyone that has been a private client. I mean, I could email you directly, but I'm just going to put it here. Anyone that's been a private client, please, if you so wish, send me a testimonial on, a review of your reading. I know a lot of you do send me feedback, but I don't think it's appropriate for me to use your private email as a testimonial without your permission. So if you were a private client of mine and you would like to send me a testimonial for me to put on my website, please do. Okay, I would love to hear from you, and other people would as well, about your experiences with me. Intuitive counseling via Skype will be coming back soon. I have to move in September, October, so I just need time to settle myself before I get that back rolling, but that will be back rolling. The medicine box I talked about in another video will get jumped up probably before Christmas. And there will be a reading package where you get a soul reading and intuitive counseling as well. So there's a lot of new services coming, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys. If you're interested in being in contact with me more often than the twice monthly videos, Twitter is the best place to see like what information I'm channeling and just more of my personality and who I am. Twitter's the best place for that. Instagram would be next, and then Facebook would probably be like last on that list. I have Facebook strictly because I know a lot of people are on it, not necessarily because I use it. All right, let's get into Leo season. Bye. Sag, this month, I think that you're willing to do anything for progress. And I don't mean that in like a, you'll take anybody out in your way type of thing, but, in like a nasty way. But I do think that you're just focused on getting ahead, being ahead, whether whether you're thinking about it right now and saying things to advance yourself, like it's very much like a just cutting. I'm feeling like cutting your ties, cutting your losses, and doing you, not being, not wanting to explain yourself. Not saying that you have to, because it's almost like if someone does ask you like to explain yourself, you're like, who are you? I'm out here making moves. I'm leaving you behind. I'm leaving this small life behind. I'm leaving this limiting, situation behind. And it's funny because before I started recording your video earlier today, I was reading up on my Jupiter placement. Because it's being highlighted right now with the astrology that's moving through the sky, and that's your ruling planet. And obviously, you're all about just more everything. I think that's what people, why people perceive Sagittarius as so selfish. I'm not saying that you are. We're all selfish in our own ways, but when someone is focused on just the bigger picture, the wider truth, the more universal understanding, just more and better and bigger, and what's, trying to learn the ancient past, you can rectify it with the current and find, Sagittarius is after, in some ways, like everything, whatever they decide is important to them, like they're after that, and no one is going to get in your way. And, that's not a bad thing, but I think some people don't take it well. And this month, I think anyone that kind of questions your motivations, you're going to have something to say about it. And, that could lead to an argument. But I don't think you're really going to care, to be honest, because again, like your focus here is progress. You guys made a move. I don't think you've been making moves, particularly in the last couple months, and now it kind of broke free. I'm feeling like very much like an unleashed energy, and this makes sense because the sun is in your, your fellow fire sign of Leo, which is definitely going to lighten you up and start to energize you, right, with the trine energy. And there's a lot of big, astrological events in August, with 2 eclipses. Yesterday was the new moon. There's 3 moons in this Leo cycle, which I think only happens once a year. We get 3 moons in a cycle. So embrace it, okay? Don't, you don't owe anybody an explanation, but also don't chop anybody's head off if they ask you what you're doing. Like, yes, they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand because no one is quite as, motivated to do them like a Sagittarius. But you can tell them like, hey, I live my life the way that I live it because this is what's important to me, So just do you, but don't be brash. Hey Sagittarius. So listen, before I get into your spread, I just want to say that you start the month, I think we've been talking about this for a while. You start the month leaving a certain level of comfortability, a security, something that you feel very comfortable in, to pursue more, right? Because you see the three of wands showed up again, only to end at the end of the month, not quite as bad, but as before in the past months, but still placing some level of restriction on yourself when it comes to truly being happy and fulfilled. And I find this so odd, like in the sense that every time I do these cards for you and I see a block or I see a constraint, it always comes across very self-imposed. And you guys saw my intro talking about like not approving hate comments. You and Capricorn get the most cross-watchers complaining about how narcissistic you guys are. And I think it's messed up. I never approve those comments, obviously. But, and I'm not saying you're narcissistic, but I do see this level of like, I don't know, you're just denying yourself being truly, fully happy in some capacity. Your overall energy this month is the 7 of Pentacles. So overall, I think you're just waiting for seeds you've been planting, most of this year, I feel. Most of this year to come to fruition. I also think that some of you are like living off a nest egg. Does that make sense? Obviously not all of you, but some of you I think have left or are leaving, your financial security, whether that mean like a marriage where, your spouse, was the primary breadwinner, or you left a job, or you moved away from your birth family, and you don't have the security of them being around, whether it was financial or otherwise. And I think that's very positive because there's also a message here too of needing to leave behind success being driven by money, and you needing to figure out how you can make yourself happy and then believe that the money will come when you're doing what makes you happy. And it's so funny because I was talking about Jupiter, and Jupiter is very benevolent, right? A lot of times where your Jupiter is placed in your chart, which is your ruler again, will show what level of benevolence or wealth someone can attain, right? And even though you're a fire sign, I do have to say every Sagittarius that I know is definitely about their money, like absolutely about their money. And, I think it's important to remember, and this is someone with a lot of earth in their chart, I think it's important to remember that you can't, at the end of the day, you can't spend it when you're dead, and money doesn't keep you warm at night. Okay? Remember that. Gains don't keep you warm at night. And, I feel like there's people looking at the screen right now saying, yeah, but I could buy, this or that. And like, that's true. You can. But being the truth seeker that you are, being the ancient universal truth seeker that you are, I know that you're going to go through your life and eventually one day it's going to hit you. That, I know one of your taglines like 2 months ago was all that glitters ain't gold. And that's the thing. Like even gold, you know what I mean? Glitters, right? But it can catch your eye, but again, gold itself like cannot keep you warm. It can only bring you money. And then once you have that money, what are you going to do with it? I think it's important everybody, obviously not just your sign, asks themselves that. Like, okay, fine. Let's say you put a figure in your head. Like I'm going to make this amount of dollars, period. And you hit it. Like it's guaranteed to you. If you set it, you hit it. Then what? Then what are you going to do with the rest of your life? You know what I'm saying? There needs to be a purpose. If you want to go after money, fine. But don't you want to enjoy your ride doing it? Because if you're not enjoying your ride doing it, then the money's never worth it anyways. Because the journey is the destination. Because really the destination is death. Right? So that's really what this is talking about here. I know I haven't even picked up the cards yet. What Spirit is asking me to leave behind in July is the Ten of Pentacles with the rune Success and the King of Wands, your card, with the rune Joy. So this straight up to me tells me like leaving behind the idea that financial security is success and is happiness. It's like a lot of focus around everything that I just said. Like, is money really going to make you happy? Is having, that big lavish house and like, you're able to, put your whole family in it. Like, yeah, that's going to bring you joy temporarily. But if you're hating your life in the midst of gaining that money, that's not going to be very, beneficial. And then what does success really look like to you? Like I was saying, what is your end goal? Because if you knew, like if I could tell you that the end goal was guaranteed in 5 years, let's say, you set your number and I tell you in 5 years, you're going to have that. So then I would ask you, but you can't have that money unless you tell me what you're going to be doing in 10 years. And you say you don't know because you've never actually pursued anything that mattered to you, that really lit you up, really in a Leo way, fueled you from the point of desire from your heart. What is the money good for? Like, I know I want money because I want to help the world. That I want, especially children. Like, my focus is is, on changing the whole way that we raise kids and being more supportive in a spiritual sense. Anyways, but it's like, I have faith, right? Jupiter, faith, that I will attain all the wealth that I need to make my purpose and my ideas to advance humanity, possible. So the limit on your cash flow, Sagittarius, that you're feeling, because the King of Wands is also highly independent, right? This is definitely the entrepreneur. This is someone that's a go-getter. So is being a go-getter really making you happy? Not that being an entrepreneur can't make you happy, but like, have you been hustling to have all this money to support maybe your whole family, or just to feel like you need to have that cushion just in case? Like, that's fine, but you need to move beyond that now, because there's other things that need to be tended to. And I really think it's your inner emotional world. And we've been talking about this for a few months. The door that's now open to you that was once closed in August is the Seven of Wands, clarified by the Hermit. And the rune we have on the Hermit is marriage. So the marriage rune to me is always commitment. So this, the Seven of Wands is motivated by the Hermit. So that's a commitment, right? Now this is the card of Virgo, but in a similar way to the Sagittarius desire to know more, when you combine it with a Virgo energy, even though it's square, I'm talking astrology, I apologize for that. It's different, but it's still a search for deeper wisdom. So there's a need to commit to get to know yourself, Sagittarius. Because you know yourself, obviously, in a surface way, but there's a need this month to really dig deep and figure out what your motivation is for all the things that you do. Because the Seven of Wands talks about asserting yourself and asserting your beliefs and making sure people know where you stand and where they stand, and drawing a line in the sand and fighting off anyone that questions you. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. So there's no problem with taking that stance. And like I said in the beginning, you're always allowed to do whatever you got to do and what you want to do, and you don't have to explain it to anybody, but you should know what's motivating you. And that's exactly what this is talking about. You need to make a commitment to yourself. And this potentially, some of you, maybe decided to leave a marriage and now you're literally going out on your own. Or like I said, you left your family and you moved away. Like, there's this feeling here of it's you and you. You got to do it by yourself, for yourself type of energy, okay? So you need to commit to looking deep within you and finding out what motivates you, what drives you, why you do what you do, what you're after in the long game. I'm talking like 10 years, 20 years out. First, obviously, you got to figure out the 5, but like 5, 10, 15, like, where are you headed? Where do you want to end up? Because you figuring out where you want to end up is going to give you a lot of understanding about maybe not having to push so hard in your day-to-day life to reach it, because it's like you have plenty of time. Like, there's almost this need to realize you have plenty of time. And also, once you're in tune with your true motivation, you step onto the path of least resistance. Right? And we have 2 sevens here. So we have this one and we have this one. So, 7's a very spiritual number for me. So there's this need to just really heed the call. And like I said, there's 2 eclipses coming up, the 8th and the 21st, in your sister sign of Leo. And you just need to be willing to surrender. And that's what we're talking about here, because this is your overall energy, Sagittarius, for the month. And in your head, we have the 3 of Wands again from the beginning. In your heart, the Queen of Pentacles with the rune Disruption. And in your foundation, the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is all about surrender. It's also about kind of having no choice but to lay it down. So there's 2 10s here now. So I really think there's this giving up here, giving up of the money, or giving up of the fixation on money. And that's the thing. That's why I think this is the 10 of Swords is here. You need to give up this mentality. I don't think you're actually giving up the physical money or losing physical money. I think that you are giving up the mental attachment to believing that you need all of that, or believing that you need, your whole family behind you, or believing that you need to answer to anybody or to explain, yourself. But I also truly feel this is a way of being that you have existed as for a long time, Sagittarius. And, what's interesting about the disruption rune and this Queen of Pentacles in your heart space, for some of you, I think this is your mom, and, or a woman that, has provided for you, and your love for her, whether you're a man or a woman, your love for her has disrupted or I almost want to say malfunctioned, right? Rewired the way you view success up until now. Because I think also on the flip side with the Queen of Pentacles, there's a need, you realize there's finally a need to nurture yourself. That if you continue to be the King of Wands all the time, you will burn out. And you need to really start caring about, because the thing about the Queen of Pentacles too is she knows that she can generate more wealth because she is abundant. And she takes care of what she has. So if you're not burning through your money, right, then you don't need to make as much either. But in some ways, I think that you find this need to nurture yourself disrupting to your way of life. Okay, there's a lot of messages there. And then back with the Three of Wands, I know I really already expressed this, but you are focused on onward and upward and really moving forward with your life. But there's first a need to address your inner world. And this Queen of Pentacles is actually looking down at the Hermit, which tells you right then and there you have to take this journey inward on yourself and figure out what is motivating you in order to really continue to move forward and be in alignment and have all of these seeds that you've been planting that you want to bloom. Oh my God, I'm going to drop this whole deck. Things that you're ready to see manifest, maybe over the next 7 weeks. Probably in Virgo season. Virgo season is when we learn our lessons. We get clarity in Virgo season. You're welcome. No, just kidding. Now, the way I designed this spread is this door, this energetic doorway that's open. The way to seize that is by knowing your energy here, obviously releasing this, and taking the advice of spirit, right? And that's what perpetuates the outcome. So what I find interesting about Spirit's advice for you is we have the Four of Swords clarified by the Sun in the rune Love. So that goes back to self-nurturement and what I said in the beginning about, needing to let love in. Because the Four of Swords is about, one, resting your mind and again, you gave up. There's a need to surrender to the way that you've been thinking about money, about yourself, about what life is about, what things are worth your time, what things are worth your energy. Right? This is a little bit of a, for those of you that know this word, high acidity type of energy, a little bit superior, a little bit egoic. And that's not a bad thing. Again, we all need our ego. We would not have manifested in a spirit, in a body if we were not supposed to have an ego. An ego gives an identity to our soul. So it's just a matter of knowing when you're in balance and when you're not. Now, with this energy here, Spirit is really telling you to just take a break and have fun. For some of you, this is literally a vacation. Four of Swords, relaxation in the Sun, and the rune Love. Take a vacation with your loved ones, or take a vacation doing what you love, or just let love and joy into your life and just calm the hell down. And I know Sagittarius always has fun, but there's a need to just turn it down a notch. If money has been the issue or has been on your mind and that's what you've been wanting to fix and you're trying to plot your next move and where you're going to go, what you're going to do, just, okay? And do it for the love. Whatever you love, go and do that this month, okay? And, it's Leo season. We have the Sun here, which is their card as well as strength, but also it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere, so just go out and play. This is the inner child as well, and needing to listen, right? Because the Four of Swords talks about meditation. So this is really much a listening card. Listen to your inner child. Listen to your heart. Listen to love. What does love sound like to you? And I don't mean this in a romantic way. I mean this in a nourishing way. What makes you feel alive, Sagittarius? What makes you feel full of life? That's what you need to be focusing on, and that is where the money is at. Okay? That's where the money is at. At the end of the month, most likely outcome, we have the Star and the Knight of Cups with the rune Constraint. I said this was disruption, right? Either way, this one's Constraint. So, the Star does talk about starting, believing in your dreams and being willing to be vulnerable in the face of the unknown. And all you need is that guiding light of the Star. And it's interesting because the Hermit has a star in his lantern, and now you have the Star unleashed. So I do think that you are prepared to finally commit and look into yourself and commit to you and only you, which is until you commit to yourself on a deep soul level, you can't actualize your dreams because you don't even know what they are. However, with the Knight of Cups here, it's like, I don't necessarily see this as an offer coming from outside yourself or someone giving you an opportunity to express your love, because I think, again, you're not quite ready to let it in. And, because the Knight of Cups already moves pretty slow, not as slow as the Knight of Pentacles, but it's a very, whimsical type of energy. It's like, have you ever seen, it's like a trot. I almost said saunter, but it's like a trot, right? So it's just like, but with Constraint here, you need to remember that the Star requires surrender as well. The Star requires ultimate faith. And faith doesn't wonder. Faith doesn't need answers. Faith just is. So, in order to receive the highest level of benevolence and generosity and abundance from the universe, especially one that really fills you up at a heart and soul level, okay? The water can only trickle in as big as the opening, right? If it's the size of a pinhole, then it's going to trickle in pretty damn slow. If it's the size of a pipe, well, then it's a pretty steady, you know what I mean? So you have to decide how much love you want in your life, then you need to open the door. You need to open the passageway. You can decide. You decide. I don't think anyone is stopping it from you. You decide, Sagittarius, how much love and you're willing to let into your life. And the way you can let it in or not let it in is through how much faith and willingness that you are to surrender to the greater divine plan. All this time you've spent exploring and trying to figure out what life is about, have you found faith yet? I know Saturn is in your sign rocking you, but we're getting to the end of the time. So have you found your new level of faith? Have you left behind and assessed all these beliefs that don't even resonate with who you truly are? Is that money really making your dreams come true? Or were your dreams alone just the money? If you told yourself once you got XYZ dollars, then you would do what you love, and you're there, what's up? It's like a curtain call time this month with these eclipses, okay? Let's get you an affirmation. Interesting. Never seen this card before, I don't think. Water is my favorite beverage. I drink lots of water to cleanse my body and mind. What's interesting is there's a ton of water, obviously, in your end here. So maybe some of you need to go to the beach as well. Like I said, vacation. But yeah, drink water, people. I'm the only person who has control over my eating habits. I can always resist something if I choose to. So, Sag, that's also a reminder that, again, you can save all that money you want, but if you don't, heal your physical vessel, you will spend it all on medical bills. And I have news for you all. We're getting to a point on this planet where, or rather, the energy infiltrating this planet is getting to the point where everything that's out of alignment with our soul's true nature is going to start to bother us on a whole new level, like in a higher intensity. So, get right or get left. I love you guys so, so much, and I really hope this was beneficial to you. I will be back soon with your love readings for August. Peace.